Hi there, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, karibu sana. If you're a returning subscriber, karibu. And if you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do. Alright? So in my last video, we looked at the law of envy from Robert Greene's book, The Laws of Human Nature. And in that video, I mentioned two terms, that is negging and sour graping. So I thought to do a deep dive today to expound on them further. Before I even define what negging is, I must say that it is majorly used by men on women. The tactic is majorly used by men on women. Obviously, both men and women can and have used it, but it's majorly used by men on women, and we'll get to understand why as I go on with the video. So negging has been described by Shahida Arabi as covertly insulting someone perceived to be out of your league with the intention of making her doubt herself and take her down a peg or two to be more receptive to your advances. Negging is majorly used by both pickup artists and malignant narcissists to get attention they would not otherwise receive. Now let's break down the verbiage on this particular definition. Number one, the idea of covert. That negging is actually covert. It's not outright. It means then that one has to be very sensitive and highly attuned to what the other person is saying, the person now who is negging. So picture with me, somebody is hitting on you. A man is hitting on you. But because they view that you are out of their league, they figure, you know what, I need to bring this chick down a notch or two at my level so that I can be able to, attain her. So the whole idea of negging and the essence of it being covert and the essence of somebody bringing you down a notch or two is the fact that this person is actually trying to bring you down to their level in order for you to be reachable to them. So for instance, you could be beautiful, and so he'll use your beauty as a way to insult you, to bring you down a notch or two. That's why you find, for instance, some men saying that, why you look better without makeup, why do you have to wear a wig, why do you have to wear that dress? And that time you've put in so much time, you've put in so much effort to look so good, and you're actually looking good. But then to make you feel bad about yourself and to bring you down, to make you doubt yourself, they actually insult you by highlighting the one thing they know that you've put in a lot of effort in, and they know that other people actually recognize the effort you've put in, but then to make you doubt yourself, they actually highlight it as a negative trait. So for instance, if you have a nice wig, like I've mentioned, they say, well, you don't need to wear a wig. I don't understand why you have to put on makeup. Did you have to wear that outfit? So negging is such a manipulative tactic, because when you think about it, they pick up on those things that are actually good on you or are going for you, and they turn it on you. They turn it against you. It's almost like gaslighting to a degree, yeah? And it's a highly manipulative tactic because they're using reverse psychology on you. Another definition of negging is when a person tries to manipulate you into feeling bad about yourself. And this example goes on to give scenarios. So the first one is giving backhanded compliments. Like I mentioned earlier, somebody talking about your wig, somebody talking about your outfit, somebody talking about your makeup. And they're like, you look better without makeup. That time you've put in a lot of effort into how you're looking, but they're choosing to pull you down, yet you've put in effort in it. The second one is comparing you to other people. It's almost telling you that you're not measuring up to what they consider to be the standard of whatever they're comparing you to. So for instance, let me use again beauty. No, so and so dresses nicely. You should try and ask her where she buys her outfits. I saw so and so wearing that trouser, the same trouser you're wearing. She looked much nicer in it. Another example is when they use jokes at your expense. By the way, this one, I am very, very sensitive to it. Highly sensitive to it. Be very careful of people who make jokes at your expense. whenever they make a joke at your expense, there's a lot of truth in the joke in terms of how they feel about you, not what you are, how they feel about you. So be very careful at people making jokes at your expense, because it is not only meant to bring you down a notch, it's actually meant to embarrass you, particularly if it's made in a group setting. And then the worst bit is, after making the joke at your expense, they'll be like, you can't take a joke, I was just kidding, you need to learn to lighten up. Early this year, there's a man called Solomon Bucci, pictured here, who trended for this very reason of negging. And he was negging his fiancée using a tweet. Okay, so this is what he said: "You're not the most beautiful woman. Neither are you the most intelligent." Now, this woman is clearly as fly as, I don't know. She's just so beautiful. Her smile, her skin, she just radiates this beauty, not just even from the outside. She radiates beauty even from the inside. And then when he goes on to say that neither are you the most intelligent, chick has a degree in mathematics, or was it statistics? But no, the man has the audacity to tell his fiancée on a public platform that neither are you the most intelligent. You see here, he's comparing her fiancée to other people. He's comparing her fiancé to other. You're not the most beautiful. Obviously, I am not the most beautiful. You're not the most beautiful. It's a fact. But why do you have to highlight it? So he's actually negging her by comparing her to other women, comparing her beauty to other women, comparing her intelligence to other people. He is negging her by complimenting her, giving her backhanded compliment, but at the same time comparing her to other people. Okay, anyway. So he continues to say this, "But I've chosen to never find perfection in anyone else." Nobody is perfect. So he's trying to be philosophical here. Anyway, "I put my gaze on you, and with that commitment, we will mold ourselves for ourselves. Our perfection is in our commitment." Then, as if he thought he hasn't done a bad thing, he goes on and makes it even worse. Stating that you're not the most beautiful / intelligent might sound like it's not a compliment. You think? But it's a realistic base for real love. So now we are carrying out research. We're trying to falsify. And we're trying to aggregate. What BS is this? And stating that you're not the most beautiful / intelligent might sound like it's not a compliment. But it's a realistic base for real love. You know those things you're told you're not supposed to say out loud, like you know them, but you're not supposed to say out loud. Anyway, acknowledging that my woman isn't the best. Well, I'm almost breaking out into an allergic reaction. Acknowledging that my woman isn't the best, but I'm not looking for the best. I was looking for you and I found you. Again, comparing her to other women. By virtue of him saying that she's not the best, obviously nobody's the best, but by virtue of him saying that she's not the best, he's saying that somebody out there is better than her. So again, complimenting her, not complimenting her rather, but putting her down. This to me is the real love, not the one that consoles itself in the full reality that their partner is the most good looking, dear God, most intelligent, most successful person in the world. That's disingenuous and doesn't give room for love to thrive. This man is feeling himself. This man thinks he's the prize. This man feels that the only way, and by the way, he's apparently a relationship expert and a motivational speaker and whatever else he wants to. I guess at this point you might as well call him a pickup artist, because how do you tell the woman you're about to marry that they're not the most beautiful? They're the most beautiful to you. How do you tell them that they're not the most intelligent? They're the most intelligent to you. You know, I feel, as compared to the lady, is not a looker like the lady. He is not as intelligent as the lady. So the only way to make himself feel better is by negging her and bringing her down a notch to his level, to the gutter and the pits of hell. And I wonder, And you know, this particular tweet drew a lot of criticism online. It drew a lot of reactions. It triggered so many people, because how does a person go on a public platform and chooses to embarrass, and chooses to demean, and chooses to put down, and chooses to, it's just, how do you do that to somebody you're supposed to marry? If he's able to do this on a public platform, what does he do in private? If he has the audacity to neg her in public, what does he do? I can only imagine what he does in private. And I pity this lady, honestly. I think now they're already married. I really pity her, because it's like, this is a man who's supposed to be protecting you. This is a man who's supposed to be protecting you emotionally. This is a man who's supposed to be protecting you from criticism from other people. But he is the one who's actually criticizing you. This is the man who's supposed to be ground you emotionally, but he is the one who's actually emotionally destabilizing you. It's just, it's like you want to tell this chick to run, turn around and run. But imagine they're still together. They're still together. I wonder how much more vitriol and how much poison he has said to this woman and poured into this woman, to the level where this becomes normal, to the level where he's able now to do it publicly and feel squat about it. And by the way, he said he's not apologizing. He has nothing to apologize for. Like, how is this good? How is this normal? How is this sane in this world? If I'm just trying to imagine I'm this chick's brother, or I'm this chick's family or father, I would actually tell the chick to call off the wedding. Because if he can do this before they're even married, imagine when they're married, imagine after he's paid dowry, how much more he'll feel entitled to even insulting her. And you know, people who are abusers, majority of the time, before they even become physical, they start with the emotional. They break you down emotionally before they break you down physically. And I pray to God that does not happen. But to be very honest with you, I will not be surprised if he goes a step further and does the unthinkable. This chick is beautiful. This chick is intelligent. And the thing that she holds is the thing that he's choosing to neg her with and break her down with, to bring her down to his level, to the gutter, to the pits of hell. This lady needs to, if she hasn't already, and I pray that her friends have actually told her, she needs to really take time to herself and wonder if she's able to take up this kind of public embarrassment, this type of public demeaning, this type of public negging from him. At what point did it get here? Because it must have started somewhere. It must have started somewhere. For him to have the audacity to bring it up to this level, it must have started somewhere. I pray that she's okay, because they are still together and apparently now they're married. I pray that she's okay. Yeah. Anyway, the next concept that I'll be looking at is sour graping. It is based on the fable of the fox and the grapes. In other cultures, they talk about a hare and the grapes, but the concept is still the same. The story goes that, there was this fox that saw a very nice bunch of juicy grapes and he wanted the grapes. So he tried to reach the grapes, but the grapes were a bit too high. He jumps and could not reach the grapes. Tries to jump further, higher. He's not reaching the grapes. Tries to jump even higher, still does not reach the grapes. And so he gives up on the grapes. And he starts walking away from the grapes, and then he turns back around, looks at the grapes and says, I bet those grapes were sour. So basically here, if you translate it to life and how the idea of now sour graping comes about is where, again, just similar to negging, because a person is not able, or rather a person desires something that you have, particularly if you look in the dating scene. A man desires to be with you. A man desires to have you as their girlfriend, as their wife. They're attracted to you. But because they feel they're not able to attain you for whatever reason. Either you are out of their league, or they have a low self-esteem, whatever the case is. Because they feel they're not able to attain you, what do? They sour grape you. So they speak smack about you. Oh, you think you're all that. Oh, you think you're beautiful. Oh, you're not even that pretty. Oh, I was just even bored. I did not really like you like that. You're not even, even your makeup. I prefer women who don't put on makeup. I prefer women who are more natural. Oh, you've done so much plastic surgery. Oh, you think you're intelligent. Oh, you think. So they're putting you down. They're trying to humble you in order for you rather to be attainable to them. And just similar to negging, it is a manipulation tactic. It is reverse psychology. They are using negative words to bring you down to their level, to the gutter, to the pits of hell, to make you more attainable to them. They are hoping that in humbling you, you're going to start doubting yourself. In humbling you, you're going to start feeling bad about yourself. Then you're going to, accept their advances. And if you really think about it, when you think of both negging and you think of sour graping, particularly in the dating scene, yeah, and not just in the dating scene, but particularly in romantic relationships, whether somebody is hitting on you, whether you're already in a relationship with somebody, or even if you're married to somebody, it also applies when you're married to somebody, not just when somebody's trying to make advances on you. It is a highly manipulative tactic. And if you really think about it, the person who is negging and the person who is sour graping is actually feeling insecure. The person who they're feeling insecure, and they're also afraid of rejection, particularly when they're hitting on you. They're afraid of rejection. Or if you're already in a relationship with them, or if you're already in a marriage with them, they're afraid that, this chick might actually realize her worth and walk away. So they want to maintain you in a level where they injure your self-esteem, to not only attain you, but to also maintain you. So they bring you down to their level, to the gutter and to the pits of hell, make you doubt yourself, injure your self-esteem, make you feel bad about the effort you put in. And that's why sometimes you find that women, actually, they call it the boyfriend look or the boyfriend face. You find that chick is a baddie, hair on point, nails on point, makeup on point, dressing on point. But then for some reason, when they start dating a person, all of a sudden, it's like they level down. Not necessarily because they are comfortable, but because sometimes some of these men neg them and sour grape them to the point where they stop putting in effort like they used to put in effort. And then you wonder again why, after breaking up, whether it's breaking up from a marriage, whether it's breaking up from a relationship, all of a sudden the lady levels up and looks even way better. So this is, again, like I mentioned, this is somebody, the negger, the person who's sour graping, is projecting the insecurities on you, because you remind them of everything that they are not. You remind them of everything that they wish to attain, but for some reason feel like they cannot attain it. Go back to the law of envy that I discussed in the previous video, and I gave the story of Jane and Mary. In fact, I think of calling her plain Jane. Mary was an author. In fact, she's the one who wrote Frankenstein. Mary was an author, well-renowned, was a famous, her and the husband were a famous couple. Jane, on the other hand, was not as famous. And in fact, the husband was trying to be an author. So it's like they're living vicariously through Mary and the husband. And so Jane went on to malign Mary, went on to defame Mary, went on to say nasty things about Mary, basically negging her, basically putting her down to other people, And when you thoroughly think about it, the fatal friend, like I mentioned in the previous video, again, not just applying negging and sour graping only in relationships, but now also in friendships. Fatal friends can be deadly. I gave you the example of that person whom I don't know that to categorize as a friend, who told me that my outfit looked like a prison warden's dress. Then when I lost the weight, she wanted that dress. The irony of it, that she wanted this thing that I had, but because she did not have it, she chose to neg me and put me down and sour grape me and say that the outfit looked like a prison warden's dress. Yet the time I lost the weight, she wanted that specific dress that to her looked like a prison warden's dress. So now because I'm no longer wearing the dress, now because the dress can fit her, now she wants that dress. Now the dress is good enough. Okay, so it's good enough for her, but it's not good enough for me. So negging, and people who are neggers and people who are sour grapers, you are reminding them of everything that they are not. You, whether it is your beauty, like Solomon Bucci, whether it is your intelligence, again like Solomon Bucci, whether it is how popular you are, whether it's a gift or a talent that you have, whether it is your charisma, whatever it is you have in you that they admire in you. Remember, I talked about, it's a bit confusing to these people because they admire you, but in the same breath, they envy you. So they want to be you. They want to be you, particularly in friendships and in relationships. They want to be with you. So because they want to be with you, or they want to be you, but for some reason you seem unattainable to them, just like the fox and the grapes, you're out of reach for them. So what do? They sour grape you. They speak smack about you. They try to bring you down to their level. Okay, and you have to be very attuned, highly attuned to the things that people say, to the tone that they use, to the choice of words that they use, to the compliments that are not really compliments, to the jokes that are made at your expense, because they are being used to manipulate you, to make you attainable to them. So in fact, even on the compliment thing, some pickup artists and manipulation artists actually say, tell men not to compliment women. Tell men not to compliment their women, because they feel that when they compliment you, they are gassing you up. So rather than give you the attention by complimenting you, because they already know that other people are complimenting you, they choose not to compliment you. Leave even backhanded compliments. They completely choose not to compliment you. Can you imagine? You've put in the effort, you've put in the time, you've put in the energy, you've used the money, and then your man chooses not to compliment you, deliberately chooses not to compliment you. Other people are complimenting you, other people are seeing the beauty in you. And in fact, to make it even worse, when other people compliment you in their presence, they're like, she's not all that. This one, me, I prefer chicks who are not wearing wigs and weaves, and, people who don't use, chicks who don't use makeup. No, they're putting you down publicly in front of people. So it's important then to be very highly attuned to people around you and how they choose to act around you. But even more importantly, have a very high self-concept. Go back to the video where I talked about self-concept and pretty privilege, how you create your own pretty privilege. People who are negging you and people who are sour graping you are banking on the idea that you have a low self-concept of yourself. They're banking on the idea that you do not know, understand, and appreciate yourself. Because for their negging and for their sour graping to work, is based on you having a low self-esteem, is based on you hoping that you do not think highly of yourself. But think about it. If you work on yourself, if you are self-assured, if you love yourself to bits, every perfect and imperfect thing about yourself, it does not matter what other people say about you. It does not matter whether they compliment you or don't compliment you. It does not matter whether they validate you or do not validate you, because you compliment yourself, you validate yourself, you gas yourself up, So be very wary of these people who come at you with negging. Be very wary of people who come at you with sour graping. Again, it happens to both men and women can sour grape and neg. But majorly it's used by men on women, particularly in romantic relationships, or somebody who has a crush on you, but because they feel you are unattainable for whatever reason, to make you attainable, they bring you down a notch. So it is an attempt to humble you. Negging and sour graping are attempts to humble you. And my question is, humble for who? Gas yourself up. And if you can't, call them out. Walk away from these types of people. Do not cut this type of people from your relationships. Cut them off. Do not tolerate or put up with people who are trying to humble you. Those are dangerous people, because you do not know the extent which they are going to go to humble you. You do not know. It might start with negging and sour graping. You don't know the next thing that they're going to do. And by the way, negging and sour graping, like I mentioned, are actually elements of emotional abuse. So you don't know the extent which they are going to go at you. So anybody who tries to neg you or sour grape you, particularly a romantic relationship, walk away from them. That is not even a red flag. That is, I don't know, it's a red bed sheet. It's a red 30-meter yard fabric. Walk away from them. Take them out of your life. Do not interact with such people. Because you see, the thing with emotional abuse is the effects of it last for years. Somebody can tell you something and the words and the tone they use will last for years in your mind, just stewing in your mind. So cut it down in the bud, nip it in the bud. Anybody who's sour graping you, that is a red flag. And anybody who's actually using negging and sour graping to hit on you, that is an abusive person. So cut them off of your life. So again, keep shining, keep glowing, keep working on yourself, keep being your authentic, beautiful, amazing self. Keep working on leveling up, glowing up, doing the best that you can, and reject and leave anybody who tries to demean you and put you down. Anybody who tries to manipulate you, use reverse psychology, use any form of abuse on you, just reject these types of people. So until next time, keep shining, keep smiling, and remember to subscribe. Toodles!